if your immigration file has been stuck for too long, if none of these options lead to results, and your case is clearly stuck, that's when you would consider a mandamus lawsuit.
Hello, Mr. Hasan. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
As you know, we are here to talk about mandamus. Before we dive in, just a quick heads up. The information we're sharing today is meant to give you a better understanding of mandamus lawsuits and the immigration process, but it's not legal advice. Immigration cases can be tricky and unique, so if you're facing delays or have questions about your situation, it's always best to talk to an immigration attorney. This video is here to inform, not replace professional advice. First question. What is a mandamus case?
A mandamus is a special type of lawsuit you file in federal court to force a government agency, like USCIS or the State Department, to take action on something they are legally required to do. In other words, if your immigration file has been stuck for too long with no movement at all, a mandamus lawsuit can be a way to push the agency to make a decision.
Why do delays happen with immigration applications?
Delays can happen for several reasons, including large case backlogs, security checks, or overwhelmed agencies with their workload. Additionally, a case might be waiting for further information or an evidence, or it might be stuck in an administrative process. It could also be due to an internal paperwork error. So if you have been waiting unreasonably long time, it may suggest that the situation is more complicated than merely a routine delay.
Immigration processes can be long for everyone. How do we determine if our file is delayed enough for a mandamus lawsuit?
Basically, you should compare your wait time to the normal processing times listed by the USCIS, or check the mandated processing times. Suppose your case has gone outside the normal processing time and beyond what is typical, or you're not getting any updates despite repeated attempts to follow up, including multiple inquiries, ombudsman, congressional support, and several phone calls. In that case, that might indicate an unreasonable delay. It's not enough that it just feels long. You usually need evidence like historic processing times published by the USCIS or clear signs of inactivity to show the delay is beyond what is normal.
How does the mandamus lawsuit process unfold, step by step?
To initiate the process, your attorney begins by filing a complaint in federal court against the relevant government agency or agencies. The government is required to respond within a specified time frame. This often leads the agency to review your case and take appropriate action.
In which types of immigration processes have you seen mandamus used successfully?
It's been used in various scenarios like long pending adjustment of status applications, delayed naturalization cases after the interview, or sometimes visa applications stuck at the consulate. Essentially, if you're stuck and all the usual follow-ups have failed, the mandamus can provide the necessary legal push to obtain a decision.
Does filing a mandamus mean we want the application immediately approved?
Not exactly. Filing a mandamus doesn't force an automatic approval or denial. It simply pushes the government to make a decision. They could still approve or deny your case based on its merits. The key objective is to end the prolonged wait and require them to act.
Is mandamus litigation the absolute last resort, or do we have other steps we can take first?
Mandamus is often seen as a more serious step, so we usually recommend exhausting the administrative remedies and trying other methods first, like following up with the agency, USCIS, putting inquiries, reaching out to your local congressional office for support, or filing an expedite request if applicable. If none of these options lead to results and your case is clearly stuck, that's when you would consider a mandamus lawsuit.
Are there any other questions people often forget to ask?
Yes, there are a few important considerations. One is whether there's any risk of retaliation from the agency if you decide to file a lawsuit. The answer should be no. The agency is required to follow the law, like everyone else. When considering a mandamus lawsuit, it is important to note that many subjective outcomes depend on the jurisdiction where you file your lawsuit. Therefore, you and your attorney should consider various factors before deciding to proceed with this legal action. Another consideration would be the cost and timing of the process. Many people do not realize that there are court filing fees and attorney fees to consider. So while a writ of mandamus can expedite matters, the outcomes can still vary.
Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.